KZOZ.com. That's how you can find the Redzone Challenge, brought to you by Firestone Walker Brew. 2 tickets to the Firestone Invitational this spring, as well as $200 to spend how you'd like at Firestone Walker, on beer, on food, on whatever. Plus some nice swag. You guys do a nice job with the T-shirts. I'm sure you get an unlimited amount of Firestone swag as a uniform, Ollie.
You know, I do get quite a few shirts here. I use them as my uniforms here because I can, dump whatever I want on them, get my lunch on them. I don't even care anymore. So,
have you ever goofed up and worn a Firestone T-shirt to one of your family events that was more highbrow or something along those lines?
I don't have highbrow family events,
okay.
but
That's good.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah, sure.
Dusty Rhodes works here. He married his lovely girlfriend at the time, and now is his wife. And she worked with, would you say it was troubled youth?
No. They're just kids that it's just an extracurricular activity.
Okay.
It's called Friday Night Light.
The whole point of it was to stay away from alcohol. And
I'm sorry, Friday Night Live.
Not
Lights.
The whole point of it was to stay away from, drugs and alcohol and tobacco and things like that.
Yeah,
it was
kids
to try
would
to
make
give
a pledge.
kids an alternative. That's right.
They would make a
going and
pledge,
partying.
and then they would work on projects instead of being bad on Friday night.
So Jeff and I are asked to MC their events. They do this mock thing. It was called Mock Rock. And we go there for the dress rehearsal. And guess who's wearing a Firestone beer shirt? Yours truly. And the guy's like, do you think you could turn that inside out? Come on, this is a great local business benefiting our community. I'm like, yeah, I'll turn it inside out.
It's kind of sending the wrong message, is what I think he said.
Yeah,
that was classic. I like that. That was a fun Jeremy moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of those, Ollie. You need to come down sometime and hang out.
Let me ask
I'm down.
Let me ask you a question, because both Jeremy and Jeff are parts of 2 pseudo big trades in fantasy football this week.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I love this.
Now, Jeremy, keep in mind, you got to take some context away from this. Jeremy is a Le'Veon Bell owner.
Oh.
And he still is a Le'Veon Bell owner to this day. No news out on Le'Veon Bell. So it probably looks like another week without Le'Veon for Jeremy. But he was able to get a win in week 1.
Yeah. I had Deshaun Jackson in week 1 who went out.
Peyton Barber and Mike Gillislee. You still were able to get a win.
I thought Gillislee was going to get more touches, Ollie. I got to be honest with you. Jeff actually talked me into it, and I agreed to everything he said.
This is what I did, Ollie, in fine fantasy football move. I scooped Gillislee off the waiver wires and traded him to the Le'Veon Bell owner for Emmanuel Sanders.
How did Emmanuel Sanders do this week?
He did all right.
I didn't even...
He did all right. He scored 26 points in fantasy, so he did just fine.
Okay.
Deshaun Jackson, by the way, saved my ass putting up 33 points in our league, which we're a half PPR.
So what do you do in fantasy football? You sell high, right?
Right.
That's what I say.
So I was able, even though he got a concussion and he's probably not going to play, I was able to pawn him off on one of the other guys in our league with Mike Williams from L.A. for T.J. Yeldon out of Jacksonville.
Oh, there you go. That's good right there. I like that, actually.
You have to hodgepodge when you're a Le'Veon Bell owner. It's just it's going to be tough sledding the first few weeks.
Well, you saw Adam Schefter's reported that they're thinking he'll be back before the month is over. That's what all the inside people are saying. I got Connor myself, so I don't want to see it. And I'm, not that I'm rooting against Le'Veon Bell, but I'm...
No, you can root against him.
It was nice getting all those points with Connor.
The problem is,
started him.
all I wanted to do at our fantasy football draft was have a party because we've never had one. And so I got there, and of course, the guy that threw the party had a signature cocktail. It was a ginger margarita. Jeremy might have had a little too many ginger margaritas because if he was sober, he probably would have got Connor as a backup, knowing that Bell hadn't signed, even though I think everybody thought he was going to sign. Well, he didn't. So I'm kind of screwed. So
hearing those names that you started, it definitely sounded like you might have been drinking during that draft.
Oh, yeah, I was drunk. At the end of it, by the 12th round, I was drunk, yes. But I still picked a pretty good team.
Jeremy won this week. I can't believe it.
I was best of the
And
worst.
he beat the champion, the defending champion in week 1. So good on you. Now I'm just going to throw some names out there. You tell me which one you'd rather have. Okay? Because I want an honest opinion of this trade evaluation. Team A gets Philip Lindsay and Ryan Grant. Team B gets Aaron Jones and Sammy Watkins. Who got the better end of the deal?
So Philip Lindsay and Ryan Grant, which were both in my league waiver wire pickups.
Yes.
And then what was Team B's?
Aaron Jones and Sammy Watkins.
Oh, Team B won out on that for sure.
I am not Team B in this scenario. I am Team A.
He is Mr. Waiver Wire Junkie. The guy almost like he drafted his team and then he waiver wired half of it away before the season even started.
So tell me why the Sammy Watkins, Aaron Jones deal is a better deal.
Well, I guess what I would say is they're both kind of unknowns. I mean, I think both players for that trade are somewhat unknowns. I think it's way too early to say what Lindsey's going to do for the Broncos right now. But even though they both got 71 yards. I got Freeman too, so They both got 71 yards and 15 touches. So that'll be interesting to see how that breaks down. They like him on the throwing, and Booker's out. Ryan Grant will be interesting to see too what he amounts to. Everyone keeps saying that Aaron Jones, just be patient, that he's going to come in and be a difference maker. And then Watkins, I guess Watkins is kind of hit or miss. He has never really amounted to anything. He's had soft tissue issues his entire career. But he's more like the Deshaun Jackson. He can make some really big plays. So,
but the thing is, he can have he'll have 4 good weeks this season. But I'll never play him because I don't know when those weeks are coming.
Yeah, I guess the one I would want probably is Aaron Jones. But I don't think it was like a lopsided trade by any means.
No,
I think
I'm okay
with
you.
Yeah, I think either way you're good on that. So.
I'm with you on that with the Philip Lindsay front. I don't know, but I'm willing to take a chance.
Yes, I agree. I mean, that could play out to your favor, and he could be top 20 running back potential. You just don't know yet. So,
all right, you ready?
I think Denver, if they're smart, they'll take a look at the success that they had last week, and they'll say, wow, we kind of have a Saints scenario here. Maybe we should treat it like the Saints.
This is the Redzone Challenge Fantasy Podcast. How do you like that? We're talking fantasy football right now. Fantasy football pickup of the week from Ali at Firestone Walker. Who do you think it was?
This week, what's his name on the Jets? I think was the one that was available on the waiver wire.
The kicker?
No. What's his name?
Quincy Enunwa.
That's the guy.
And that's the guy I got.
Yes, I think that was a great pickup this week.
What about Jalen Richard? What about Jalen Richard for the freaking Oakland Raiders?
You mean Richard?
Richard, whatever his name is. Richard. Yeah.
You just don't. Again, I don't know with
more touches
the Raiders
than Lynch.
Yeah, but it's going to be game script, very game script heavy.
And he caught a lot of passes.
So too.
All right. Anyways, okay, that was our hot pick of the week with Ali from Firestone Walker and the Redzone Challenge Fantasy Football Podcast.
Just to touch on a noon one, what you said, Ollie. It comes down to volume and Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold's not comfortable airing it out yet. So for the next 4 to 5 weeks, it's going to be
call him later.
It's going to be a steady diet of Enunwa.
Call him later. I mean, how much time can we spend on this?
The
guy has to sell Firestone beer.
It's an Enunwa all-you-can-eat buffet.
Or whatever you do. I don't know what you do there. You're some kind of manager, I've heard, but I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Some kind of manager is a great description.
Something like that.
Okay, can we get to this real quick? This Saturday morning, we're going to get Jeff hammered on... we're going to do the payoff for the bet. Are you still in?
Absolutely.
Okay, what time? 9 o'clock? 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock sounds perfect.
10 o'clock's fine for me.
I can make 10 o'clock work, I guess. Let me check.
What do you mean? Is that, too late?
Here we go. Jeff dies drowning in Firestone Walker beer. Yep, I got it all day. So we're good.
Am I allowed to wear a rain jacket?
I don't care. No, you're not.
Why not?
You can bring a change of clothes, but you are not allowed to wear any kind of poncho.
Well,
that is ridiculous.
That should have been established early on.
We decided if you barf, we're going to put you under the safety shower and pull the handle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I like
cool.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
every science class I've ever been in, I always wanted to get underneath that thing and pull the handle, but I never had a reason to.
Here's your chance.
Here's
your chance.
My opportunity. It waits at Firestone Walker Brewery Saturday morning.
All right, here we go.
All because the Philadelphia Eagles scored one more touchdown in the Super Bowl than they needed to.
These are the 5 closest games of the week. We start with the Cincinnati Bengals tonight at home hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Jeff told us earlier that there's only one sports book that has the Bengals as the favorite, and that is the MGM Grant. That is who we use.
That's the one we use.
Every other sports book has the Ravens favored by this one. Ali, I think you're going first. Oh, by the way, we should recap last week, shouldn't we? Ali went 4-1 last week.
Good job,
Congratulations on that. Only missing
Thank
the
you very much.
Tennessee-Miami game, which is a total S show. It had to be the longest NFL game ever with the delay of the thunderstorms.
It was, and the weirdest thing was turning on Sunday Night Football just started right as that game ended.
Yeah, that was cool.
So dumb. But
That was cool
congratulations
unless
on
you
4-1.
had fantasy players playing in those games, then it really sucked because you're like, gosh, what do I do?
Let's see here. Jeff and I both went 2-3. We don't need to get into that, but I think the order today is Ali, Jeremy, and then Jeff because he is still the loser.
Yeah, that's fine.
You ready to pick some games, Ali?
Absolutely.
All right. Who do you like in this one with the Bengals at home tonight in Thursday Night Football against the 1-point favorite over the Ravens?
So, as you mentioned, it all started out with Cincinnati 1-point favorites. It's now shifted. The public is on Baltimore, especially after that ass whooping last week.
That was an ass whooping, by the way.
It was.
I wonder, it's cool that an NFL team gets to feel how Savannah State feels whenever they play the University of Miami. Because that's how the Buffalo Bills feel.
Yeah, that was not a fun game to watch either. I went back and forth with this multiple times and landed back on Baltimore. All the talking heads I listen to think Baltimore is legit this year. I think having that backup QB right now kind of nipping at Flacco's heels is going to make him play better. I could definitely see this game ending at 1 point, though, either way. So I'm taking Baltimore, but it's going to be a shootout. So
You think it'll be a shootout?
I don't know about a shootout. Sorry, I think it'll be close.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a close game. I'll take that back.
All right. I like Baltimore in this one as well. I think you and I agree with all the other sports books out there. I know where the MGM Grand is getting their information, but it makes you kind of nervous a little bit, doesn't it? But like you said, it's probably going to be a close game. It's Thursday Night
Football. The world's
Football.
largest sports book usually gets it wrong.
Which means there's probably not going to be a whole lot of offense that actually goes anywhere. These are
really
usually
nervous by
pretty
that.
defensive-heavy games. And in Cincinnati's defense this week is placed, 12 or 13 as far as ranking defenses go. So I like Baltimore for that reason. Jeff, what do you got?
I'm going to take the Bengals only because this is an AFC North matchup.
Yeah.
And AFC North matchups are ugly, brutal affairs in which the home team usually wins. So I'm only going with the Cincinnati Bengals because I think it's going to be ugly. I think guys are going to get hurt. I just hate when these teams play each other. The Bengals and the Steelers and the Bengals and the Ravens, they can get ugly at times. I think home team usually prevails in this, though, so I'm gonna go with Cincinnati, and that's the only reason why. Home
All
team.
right, Ollie. Next up, we got New England, 2-point road favorite as they travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars.
So they always say, in sports betting, you never bet on the road favorites. But when it comes to New England, I'm going to take that favorite. I'm taking New England in this game. Until they prove me wrong, I like New England. No matter where they play, they're just too good. Brady's too good. So,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it usually comes back to Brady, doesn't it? And I know what you're saying. I normally will always go with the home team. 70% of the Redzone Nation right now is picking the Patriots to beat the Jaguars. I think I'll go with New England as well.
I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. Before I make my pick, I want to look up the status on Jalen Ramsey.
Did he get hurt?
He was wobbly. He's dealing with an ankle injury right now. Okay,
which means he'll probably play. Game time decision.
Yeah, he'll play. But last week he re-aggravated it in that game against the Giants. I'm gonna go New England on this one, just because a questionable Ramsey can be exploited by the best quarterback of all time, and you never know what you're getting with Blake Bortles.
There you go, Jeff Kingman, the loser in last year's Redzone Challenge, going to drink 80 ounces of beer on Saturday morning by funnel.
I like how you brought
Did you
that
extend
in.
this out just so you could bring it up during this season too?
We got Ali on the line from Firestone Walker Brew. It is the Redzone Challenge brought to you by Firestone Walker. We're giving away a couple of tickets to go to the Firestone Invitational coming up this spring. We've got $200 to spend how you would like. The tap room at the brewery, and we're going to throw a bunch of fun stuff your way. Let's get to game number 3. Dallas favored by 3 over the Giants. Ali, who do you like?
I like the Giants. Manning's not my favorite quarterback in the world, but they did keep up with that really stout Jacksonville defense. Watching Dallas, their offensive line looks atrocious. Again, I don't know what receiver they're going to throw to. The coaching in Dallas is terrible. I will say the one thing that Dallas has going for them, I think their defense has improved this year. But I like the Giants going in there. Again, this should be a fun matchup. This should be a tight game.
This game is being played in Dallas, so you're going with the road win again.
I am.
It's a tight matchup in the Red Zone Challenge. 59% of people so far are picking the Cowboys to win this. Jeff, I can't wait to hear what you do since you picked against the Cowboys last week and it cost you dearly.
No, it didn't. Dallas lost last week.
Why did I have this backwards?
Dallas lost last week.
Oh, that's right.
Me and Ollie were right on that one.
That's right. You guys were. I apologize. I was the idiot. But I'm dumb, so I'm going to stick with the Dallas Cowboys. I like them at home.
Yep, you are dumb. I think this is the worst team. I think if you take an offense, if you take what Matthew Stafford was able to do on Monday night against the New York Jets, and you were to spread that awfulness out across an entire offense, that's the offense you get with the Dallas Cowboys. And the problem with that is you have to score points in the National Football League in order to win. Even the Giants' defense, not the best defense, but still, they'll be able to contain the Dallas offense because the Dallas offense comes down to the Beasles. Cole Beasley is what you have that's a benefit in Dallas. That's all you got because everybody's going to key in on Ezekiel Elliott. You bet your ass the New York Giants are going to win coming away large.
All right, game 4. Jets favored by 3 at home over Miami. I mean, come on. This should be by a touchdown or 10 points. Jets favored all the... Well, I'm not up yet. Go ahead, Ollie. Who do you like?
Now, don't overhype week 1.
Yeah, because they didn't get Miami's playbook like they got Detroit's playbook.
That's true. That is true. I forgot about that. Hold on. I'm glad I made my pick yet.
Yeah, it's really hard to judge, especially after that Miami game was so wacky with Tennessee. Again, I'll go with the Jets too. This game I could go either way on though. I'm going to take the Jets. I think they're slightly better, but I don't know. I really don't know what Miami's all about this year. I didn't trust Miami going into the season, and I still don't quite trust them. So we'll see what happens.
How does Miami always make it into our picks? I think it's because Jeff has a crush.
I don't know.
Close spreads. It's just all about close spreads. Miami is the king of fooling people into thinking that they are good, especially in the first part of the season.
I can write. Okay, I'm going to go with the Jets as well.
It's another division game, right?
Yes, it is another, and it's an ugly. It can be ugly.
What's this kid's name? What's this kid's name at quarterback for the Jets?
Sam Darnold.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
21 years old, Sam Darnold.
He's very impressive. I think
he was very impressive last week.
198 yards and a atrocious pick 6.
Who do you got? I know you got Miami. I don't even need to ask you.
Did you take the Jets also?
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I took them last week to a win, and I'll write them this week to a win. The Miami Dolphins. Go Fins.
Yeah, no kidding.
Go Fins.
All right. So finally, Philly favored by 3 at home, taking on the Bucs. You saw that impressive start by Ryan Fitzpatrick last week.
The Super Bowl champion. I mean, it just shows to go what the week 1 overreaction is. Okay, these are Super Bowl champion team. It's got a home matchup against a team that was supposed to be the worst team in the league this year, and they're only a 3-point favorite. But go ahead, Ali.
100% agree with that. I think that's disrespectful for the Super Bowl champs. I think if Tampa Bay didn't have that crazy game, I think this spread would have been at 6. So I'm going to go ahead and take Philly in this game, thinking they're getting disrespected. After watching that Thursday night game, it looked like 2 teams playing after they drank all night. It was probably one of the sloppiest opening season games I've ever seen. I think Philly still has a lot of weapons and are only going to get better this year. So I'm taking Philly.
This game is in Tampa Bay, by the way. This game is in Tampa Bay. Yeah,
I gotcha. Well, I'm still taking Philly. I think they're going to wipe the. I'm going to actually bet on this game.
Yeah, I made a mistake in my text message.
Oh, okay. Oh, so now the Bucs are at home.
Yeah.
Well, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, boys. I'm drinking the Ryan Fitzpatrick Kool-Aid.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's the other problem, Fitzpatrick.
Gotta be kidding me.
I'm drinking it up. This guy is playing for his career. He's only got a couple of games to do it.
His career was 4 years ago.
The current champions, the world champions.
His career was 4 years ago, Jeremy. Let's be honest.
His career was a decade ago. Okay, come on, I get that, but he's playing for a starting spot. They got Winston coming back, that jackass, and he wants to show him that he's the man.
I have a friend who lives in Tampa Bay, and he told me that they've taken down, you go to an NFL football stadium, and usually, in Seattle, it's Russell Wilson everywhere. Russell Wilson and Doug Baldwin and KJ Wright.
Phillip Rivers is in San Diego, right. And so on and so on.
Was in San Diego.
Yeah, or whatever.
But the posters are up of their stars. Jameis Winston's posters were taken down in Tampa Bay. So that's just, bears noting.
I like the Bucs,
moving
baby.
Forward
Let's go with the Bucs.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know what? You want a little trivia, Ali?
Sure.
The Bucs franchise plays their first game. I'm sorry, they started the Bucs franchise on the same day they started MTV. August 1st, 1980. There you go.
They won their first. Is that when they won their first game?
I don't know. They didn't win. It was when they started the franchise. The franchise was started on the same day.
I thought they came
His video killed the radio star.
I thought they
played on television.
I thought they came into the league the same time that the
look it up.
That the Seahawks did in '76.
Nope.
But they didn't win for the first 3 years.
Nope.
Are you sure about that? Do you want to bet? How about this? You seem so sure with your thing.
You know what?
Why do we not do the payoff?
No,
why do we not do the payoff?
Wait, you know
on
what?
Saturday?
I would like. Hold on a second. Nope. No bets. I'm wrong. You're right. It was 76. I don't know why, but it was on August 1st, the same day MTV started. Just they started 4 years later. Never mind. God, what is wrong with me?
Ali, you want a little piece of trivia? 99% of the time, Jeremy says, "Hey, do you want a little piece of trivia?" That trivia will be fake news.
Damn it! That's not true, but today it's right. You're right. I was wrong.
I enjoyed that right there. That was amazing.
I really screwed up those facts. I really did.
By the way, the closest in the Red Zone Challenge is Kansas City, Pittsburgh. Now, this is not by Vegas terms, so we're not going to touch it because Pittsburgh is.
Are you going to pick in this game, by the way?
A large favorite. I picked Philadelphia. Pittsburgh and Kansas City, just for funsies. This is off the record. Who wins this game? Because the majority have Pittsburgh winning 52-48. This is the closest game in the Red Zone Nation.
52-4. Yeah, I don't know. You know how Berger always plays better at home. He looked atrocious in that Browns game. I really enjoyed watching KC, though. I think KC's just a lot of fun. The problem with KC right now is their defense. So if the Berger can turn it around a little bit, I could see them winning that game. But I'd like KC with the 5 points right now. I think that spread's going to move around a bit before game time. So But I could see Berger winning that. I mean, what did they say? The Browns, that was their best start since 2004.
Yeah,
it was a tie.
It was.
I got two
and
words
Pittsburgh
for you.
tried to give him the game. They said, "Here, take the ball."
This is
Here, take the ball again. No, take the ball again.
I got 2 words for you, Ali. Le'Veon Bell. 2 more words. Not there. 1 more word. Pittsburgh. 1 more word. Loses. Kansas City, baby. All the way.
I'm with Ali on this one. It's not even going to come down to a run game. It's just Roethlisberger is awesome in Pittsburgh. He's terrible on the road.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh wins this game.
All right, there it is.
Especially against Mahomes, which is basically a rookie quarterback. 2 weeks in the road, in a row on the road is tough for a green quarterback to deal with.
I've already fired my producer that wrote me that terrible fact about MTV and the Bucs.
No. Hey, a quick question for you. How are you feeling about Seattle going in this week here? I know
Seattle's an automatic lock every week, even when they lose.
They're playing Chicago, right, on Monday night?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
Is it in Seattle or Chicago?
It's in Chicago. I think there's 2 great storylines in this game. One is Khalil Mack finally getting some time under his cleats with the Chicago Bears and what that does. But then the storyline everybody is overlooking is, you remember when the Bears were kind of good and they had Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall out on the edges and Jay Cuddy throwing to him all the time. And they didn't decide to renew Brandon Marshall's contract. He saw it as a bit of a slap in the face. Now, many years have passed, but I believe that this is a revenge game for Brandon Marshall. Many people don't see it because so much time has passed, but I really think that Brandon Marshall is going to have a big game. And I think that the Seattle defense, people will sleep on the Seattle defense. Give Earl Thomas a week to get back to getting back to things, even though he did have an interception last weekend. I think Seattle's going to win. I really do. I don't think Chicago did it when Aaron Rodgers was out of the game. Then Aaron Rodgers comes back in the game. They're like, holy crap. You're talking about if Russell Wilson stays in the game the entire time, they should have no problem with Chicago.
I think the key to this game is Seattle's defense has to shut down the Bears. I don't think it's going to be a high output as far as offense, but if they can stop the Bears, I think they have a shot.
Who's got the better offense, though? I think the Seattle Seahawks have the better offense.
That's still out. It's too many new guys.
All
right, Ollie.
Brandon Marshall says differently.
Good to see you, buddy.
What do you think, by the way, since you brought it up?
I don't know. It was kind of weird to see how Chicago just seemed to run out of plays towards the end of that game last week, and then they played really conservative. And that quarterback, Chicago's quarterback, what's his name?
Mitch Trubisky.
Trubisky. He started to make some really goofy decisions where he was dumping off the ball, and Seattle doesn't really get ahead of games, or at least that hasn't been their MO in years past. So I think it's going to come down to if Seattle can score some points and get Chicago kind of on their feet. I don't know. I'm on the fence with that game too. I could definitely. Chicago looks better than they have in the past, and Seattle's defense just isn't what it once was. So I'm kind of leaning towards Chicago, but I could see that being an interesting game. I like Russell Wilson. I always root for Russell Wilson.
Redzone Nation has Chicago winning that 70-30.
Yeah,
but they're wrong about a lot of things.
All right, gentlemen. Well, as always, this was a lot of fun.
Yes,
I enjoy this.
Thank you, Ali. We'll see you on Saturday morning.
We'll see you Saturday morning, fellas. Talk to you soon.
Adios.